Steve, first of all, very well done.
Thank you.
What an effort from
Incredible.
your team.
Incredible. You know, if there's ever any doubt about the team spirit in our place, I think that one's firmly put to bed now. Not that there is any doubt, but just in case.
And it was a great start, which has been a feature of many of your recent
Yeah, we
performances.
started brilliantly. I thought, I think there was just probably what happened after such a good start. There was a little bit of a step back, and that was the disappointing bit, was the step back, and then we allowed them into the game, and then they got the equaliser. And then obviously as the half develops, they finish stronger. We go in on a really low point because obviously now we're down to 10 men. I haven't seen the incident back genuinely, so I can't honestly comment that it was right or wrong. If Tom's wrong, then he will be fined for it, just like every other player. I've heard that there's something gone on before it, but I don't want to say too much because I haven't looked at it yet, so it would only be hearsay. So, we're obviously disappointed to go down to 10 men again. But I wrote half a dozen things on the board at half-time that I felt as though we needed to do in the second half. Number one, firstly, to not get beat, and secondly to win the game. And when I've gone back in, the boys just said to me there, they just said to me, go on, tick 'em. So every little tick got a cheer.
It was rather like the Sunderland game when you came out with 10 men at the start of the second half that night,
Yeah.
and you went straight for the opposition, straight on the attack, and same again today with Danaludo quickly letting you 2-1.
Well, what happens there is you end up playing a counter-attack game. That's what game it is. But off the basis of playing a counter-attack game, you can only counter-attack from an organised position. You can't counter-attack if you're disorganised, and we were organised. We were organised all over the pitch, and I'm struggling to think when we went down to 10 men of anybody really putting a foot wrong.
And another good day in front of goal for Daniel Udo, two more to add to his tally, but more than his goals, his all-round contribution again. What about that?
I thought, I think a couple of weeks ago to you guys that I thought Dan Udo has improved. And last year what I saw, it was only obviously a short period of time that I had with him, but I thought there was growth in him. I thought there was improvement, and he was a great lad. More than anything else, he was a great lad. Had he been a bit of an arse, I might have got rid of him based on what he did last year, but he's certainly not that. And he's just a fantastic boy, and he gets everything he deserves in life, or hopefully he will.
You're 2-1 up, you're defending superbly, having to at times, and then David Davis, back in the team, back from suspension, does something like that to
he's
make
all
it
right
3-1.
running that distance because he's just had 3 weeks rest. So we're not too worried about Digger running that. What we were worried about more than anything else was him missing and then them counter-attacking us. But it was a great finish by him, and I'm really, really pleased for him because I think the sending off against Sunderland was very, very harsh, which is why we appealed it. But as I've said before, that's all part of the team spirit and the togetherness, and that's why we always have to be very, very careful with who we recruit and who we bring into the group, because not only have they got to be a good player, they've got to be the right type.
And your team did defend well, some good saves as well from Marco Morose.
I've said today that I think that is probably his best game for us. I thought he was outstanding. I think today our supporters, you guys, his teammates have seen why we signed him, and he's given himself a level now that he has to attain every time he walks onto the pitch for me. I thought he was brilliant today. He had to be as well, by the way.
So many games elsewhere called off today owing to COVID. What's your latest take on the latest situation football finds itself with?
So I've just answered this one with Sky that football and all of that pales into insignificance when we're talking about this. if you end up catching COVID for whatever reason, it doesn't matter if you love your football, whether you work in football, because you end up dying, and there's been hundreds of thousands that have. You haven't got your football anyway. So whatever's safe shouldn't be criticised if our life now changes in a dressing room, for instance. Where we thought it was changing back, it changes again now. But we have to go with that. And I suppose it's easy for me to administer our club after having it to the extremities that I had it. So therefore, I'm with whatever scientifically is the best for the UK as a whole, for everybody. For those that are potentially thinking that there's no COVID out there, there is. So anybody who comes up with a conspiracy theory or anything like that, they're talking nonsense, absolute nonsense. You've got to be safe. And even if you don't want the jab for yourself, have it for your family and have it for your workmates and your teammates and your acquaintances that you work with. It's the only way, you know, that we're probably going to try and get out of this, which is why everybody now is ramping up the booster. We have now, our lads are, as we talk, having either second injections or boosters now. And we then have done really, really well. I'm really proud of the lads for what they've done as regards that. I'm really, really proud of them. You know, we've gone from young to old, and you know, they're actually in there now. And the booster's probably the one that they might be the roughest from. That's what happened to me. My first 2 injections, I never felt anything, and then obviously the booster hit me for 6, and then when we had a weekend off, I thought this will be great the other week, and I thought I'll have it done then. And I had it done on a Friday, and I never got up to the Monday, and it was really, really tough. I felt really poorly, and I thought, oh my God, you know, I've got this again. You know, ended up testing in the morning, tested again at night. No, I hadn't, but I felt really rough from it. So we're going to lock the boys down now for 3 or 4 days, keep them away. Now they're going to have their injections, and then we'll have a longer build-up to training over Christmas, pre-Christmas, Christmas Day, Boxing Day. So we'll have a longer build-up, but we're going to shut them down tonight now for 3-4 days.
Well, thanks as always for your time, Steve, and looking ahead, all the very best to you and everybody else involved for Christmas.
And Merry Christmas to you, to all of our listeners, to all the people that are here now. And be safe, don't get taking any risks. If you're going to take a risk, stick a mask on. And be safe, and hopefully in this new year is going to be better than the last couple we've had.
Thanks ever so much, Steve.
Pleasure.